Pop quiz. What's the difference between the mathematical equivalent assigned to quantify infinity and the number of award shows? Well, cue Edwin Starr. Absolutely nothing. I'm Scott Edward Phelps.
I'm Dave Simmons.
And we got awards, we got reviews, and we got more than one genuine talent gone too soon. And this week's award for the last word in Talking Tunes, the Audiophiles.
It's starting, our favorite show.
Oh, you like good music? That sweet soul music.
Rock and roll.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.
Scott Edward Phelps.
America's favorite old fart.
His past is a mystery, but his work is already a legend.
Dave Simmons.
He's very fussy about his drums. They loom large in his legend.
Chicks dig me because I rarely wear underwear.
Two honest, intelligent men.
Two guys who know tunes. Talking tunes.
Do you expect me to talk? No, I expect you to.
The Audiophiles.
I want to dedicate it.
Now, here comes the music.
You know what I mean.
Baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R.
Hooray for Hollywood. That screwy ballyhooey Hollywood.
Oh, Tony, don't.
Hooray for Hollywood. Where you're terrific if you're even good.
All right, first of all, we need to get it straight. Tony's the weekend guy. He comes in here to clean up and do recording when we're not here. Why? We keep getting references to Tony in the programs. Somebody's got to take care of these things. Now, there's that. Second of all, let's move on to this. We're going to talk about Oscars and Oscar-nominated songs, but we make this solemn vow. We're going to hit it and quit it, because I can't speak for Dave, but I'm going to say this, and I think Dave's going to affirm, we really don't care.
No.
Nevertheless, they're timely, they're topical, they're at the top of the chart.
Here's the top of the charts.
The Audiophiles.
And if you haven't had a chance to hear any of the or about the songs that are nominated for Best Song in the Oscars coming up in like March or April, here's a little snippet for you, and then we'll do our best to rag on them. From Tell It Like a Woman, music and lyrics by Diane Warren, Applause. From Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, music and lyrics by Thames, Rihanna, Ryan Coogler, and Ludwig Göransson, Lift Me Up.
Lift me up. Hold me down. Keep me close. Safe and sound.
From Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, music by Ryan Lott, David Byrne, and Mitski, lyrics by Ryan Lott. This is a life.
This is a life. Free from destiny. Not only what we sow, not only what we show. This is a life.
Little music and lyrics by Lady Gaga and Blood P. From Top Gun Maverick, Hold My Hand.
Hold my hand, everything will be okay. I heard from the heavens that clouds have been gray. Pull me close, wrap me in your aching arms. I see that you're hurting. Why'd you take so long to tell me you need me? I see that you're bleeding. You don't need to show me again. But if you decide to, I'll ride in this life with you. I won't let go till the end. So
And from RRR, music by M.M. Kiravani, lyrics by Chandrabose, Natu Natu.
Do you know
Natu.
What is Natu?
పొలం గట్టు దుమ్ములోన పోట్ల గిత్త దూకినట్టు పొలేరమ్మ జాతరలో పోతరాజు ఊగినట్టు కిర్రు సెప్పులేసుకొని కర్ర సాము చేసినట్టు మర్రి సట్టు నీడలోన కుర్ర గుంపు కూడినట్టు ఎర్ర జొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరప తొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు 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 పూర నాటు
Ladies and gentlemen, your Best Song Oscar nominees.
I've had enough of this nonsense! You two, out!
No, Jake, I've had enough of your bullying. Oh,
And that was not edited in by my weird sense of humor right there. That's from the actual film. So I kind of like the Natu, but I think it's more about the feel and the fun after 4 songs that make you want to just put a knitting needle in your head and shove it as hard as you can.
Yeah, can we just skip the Academy Awards?
You know, I went through the wiki list of Academy Award nominations since like 1939. There have been real dry periods, but there was some really good stuff in the 70s, in the 80s. Flashdance had a couple of songs from
couple of Bond themes thrown in there.
We're going to get to that a little later at the very tail end when we're finally fed up with Oscar as it goes. But I'm thinking, first of all, real quick, let's see, applause. I feel like Bill Murray when he used to years ago do the Oscar thing with a little stick-em board, magnetic board, and he'd just pull the movie name off and go, didn't see it, and he'd throw it and go, don't care for it. Don't know what that is. That one's written by Diane Warren. You hip to Diane Warren?
Diane Warren, she's a great songwriter.
Yeah, well, she's had 6...
Well, lyricist.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where you and I can politely agree to disagree. She's a hack, okay? And she's been getting away with being Diane Warren forever. She's the Susan Lucci, first of all, of the Oscars. She's been nominated 141 times and never won.
But she's got a resume.
Yes, but it's... And we don't spend a lot of time on her, but it's to me, to my sensibilities, it's formulaic. Okay.
Yeah.
Very formulaic, and that's another word for okay.
Yes.
Lift me up, please. Okay. Just lift me up. Get me out of here. Lift me up. This is a life.
Billie Eilish, right?
Yeah. Well, Billie Eilish would at least give a nice sleepy sweetness to it. I asked our new critic what he thought.
Fun facts.
Oh, shut up. I got to fix this. Wait a minute. I can't fix it. All right, I forgot to set that. I had a real surprise for you, too. I was going to do a thing. I found out how to use the extra knobs on the...
Apparently you did.
On the side. Well, you got to turn them on. See, you got to turn them on. And I had my nap early. Hold my hand. It's Gaga. Whatever. I think it's going to be that one just because it's Gaga and it's Top Gun, and they're not going to give any Oscar to Top Gun Maverick, the movie, so there's going to be that. And then Natu, not to be confused, of course, with Nanu, which was a whole kind of cool thing. All right. Well, there's new music that's not in the Oscar vein, and it kicks off this week with Van Morrison seemingly worried.
Yo, DJ, play my funky tune!
I wish I had a record like that.
Played it for her.
Don't make any noise when the music's playing.
Play it for me.
I don't like any noise when the music's playing.
Play it.
In song form.
Wax on.
The Audiophiles.
And the hits just keep on coming.
Train I ride. 21 cuts along. One I love is on the train gone. And it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man.
From what's basically a jiver version of the old folk song, It Takes a Worried Man, to the Alone Again Naturally guy singing with the Suddenly I See Lady, Gilbert O'Sullivan and KT Tunstall.
Take love, and what have you got? Half of what you thought of as being a lie. Oh, sweet, you can be embraced. Greet the love you've never met when you see that he's joining you in your bed. Take dreams, good or bad, who knows? Even if they don't all come true, love is good for the ones that do. Take dreams, take dreams, take dreams.
And Dave Matthews, well, he's always Dave Matthews.
Little Billy's got a gun. Little Billy's having fun. Like a train blown full steam ahead. Can't hear what you're saying with everybody screaming. I'm afraid, can't lie. Mama said, baby, don't you cry. It's not black and white. Let's just look through a madman's eyes.
And speaking of Dave Matthews,
and yet it's not Dave Matthews.
No, the reason I had you play that is Dave Matthews' drummer, Carter Bruford, a great player, by the way. He never met a Dennis Chambers drum lick that he didn't steal.
Well, you know, now the old saying is plagiarists steal, creative people pay tribute to.
Yeah,
So
he wasn't.
he's paying
He
tribute.
doesn't pay tribute. He steals.
He's making a living.
Yeah, I've always liked Dave Matthews, and I like Carter Buford as a drummer, but he's the most unoriginal drummer I've ever seen in my life. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
So anytime you listen to Dave Matthews, just remember this name, Dennis Chambers.
Not one of the Chambers brothers.
No.
He'd have to be 104
He's actually a
years old.
Baltimore-based drummer.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to meet him, and I missed the call. He knows a friend of mine, and a friend of a friend was heading over, and he goes, "Hey, we're going over. Dennis is coming over to this other friend's house and hanging out." And so my buddy Charles went and got to listen to Dennis, which it was just, he said it was insane. But I missed out on that, unfortunately.
And yet he's found it. He's like so many people that pull that shit. He's in the right place at the right time. He's probably making a pretty good living.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no integrity, but what the hell if you can write the check?
Yes. Yeah, he is. I like the Gilbert O'Sullivan song.
It's catchy.
I really do.
It's catchy.
I do
too. And the Van Morrison thing is an old folk song. Takes a worried man,
Right.
New Christy Minstrels, and if all he's really done is put an Eric Clapton Lay Down Sally beat to it, okay,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
It's catchy enough. But that's that. But I like KT Tunstall. I've always
I
enjoyed
do
it.
too.
Suddenly I see.
I'll add with the Van Morrison. If you've heard one Van Morrison song, you've heard every Van Morrison song.
Van Morrison has been for years. We used to say this in the Nashville days, in the songwriting days. We used to make this snarky comment about either John Denver or Don Williams. Remember Don Williams?
Yes.
Yeah. And Don was a great, very talented guy, but the way we used to put it was, hey, did you guys hear Don Williams has his album out again?
Yeah. Again, yes.
Because if you've heard one,
Yeah.
you've heard
Plus
everyone.
being a cover band musician for so many years, I've had to play Brown Eyed Girl more times than I care to. I want to.
Don't get me started. Brown Eyed Girl is a psychological trigger for me. Seriously, Brown Eyed Girl and Margaritaville, because in all the years that I did live terrestrial radio, and I was always on the shit list with the consultants because I was the one arguing with them saying, I don't care what your pie charts and your bar graphs tell you. Listeners do not want to hear Margaritaville and Brown Eyed Girl every 13.6 minutes. And yet that's the way it was programmed because that's what their pie charts and bar graphs told them. I never met any of those people.
It's crazy. But I looked up, this is one thing. Gilbert O'Sullivan's biggest hit is obviously Alone Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. He had a couple of other
I would have sworn that went to number one.
Alone Again?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no, it topped out at number 2.
No, I wouldn't have sworn to it because that was that was like 74, 75. There was a lot of stuff that just appeared for a week and blocked.
Yeah, but being a kid at that time, that was on the radio every 5 minutes.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Did you check what the blocked song was?
Yes, and you know what blocked it?
Oh, it was something inane like memory, evergreen or something.
No. The key song from the movie Play Misty for Me.
Misty. Oh, well, that was the key song in Play Misty.
No. The first time ever I saw your face. Roberta Flack.
Okay. It was like, because it was like number one for like 41 weeks.
Oh, yeah. It just sat at number 1. And that's a great song.
It is.
That's a great song. Yeah, but because I was like, I know that had to be a number one song, and when I researched it, I was like, that never hit number one.
Well, here's another little tidbit for you if you're going into the business and you want to know, and I think it hasn't changed since back in our Stone Age days, but here's the thing. The status of having a number one record is certainly like, hey, you got a number one record. And anybody's lying to you that tells you they don't want to go all the way to number one.
Right.
That said, in terms of ka-ching, okay, if you've got a top 5 record, then you're fine, because the top 5 records are usually played in the same rotation on a radio station as any of the other in the top 5. In other words,
they heavy rotations.
They get the same number of plays, and that's where the money starts to stack up. Now in sales, that's a different story, maybe, but if you've got a top 3 pop hit, you're going to make almost as much money as the number one song is. You won't get the BMI award or whatever that goes with that, but that's fine.
But yeah, it seemed like every moment, 1974 and early 75, it was like, alone again, naturally.
I wrote a parody
in
1974 because I was already, precocious as all giddy up. And I don't remember the lyrics, except I know how I made it. It was about, and Nixon was president. He was still president. He resigned later that year, but it was the economy, it was inflation. By the way, that's a good note to make without going down a political road real quick or real fast. That shit comes, it goes, it's cyclical. Get over it. Stop complaining. We were in an economic thing and blah, blah, blah. But I remember taking a lyric and it was something about, in a little while from now, I'm not going to have this and that because I can't broke and it's stupid and everything is so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the payoff line was, as long as the economy bleeds, I'm truly going to need a loan again.
Huh? Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I would. If you would have asked me, I would have bet everything I owned that was a number one song.
I've done 2 podcasts on my 45 RPM available at Podomatic and all your major platforms for pods, and including my own website, scpradionetwork.com. And they're chapter 1, chapter 2. I call them spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. And what they are songs that got all the way up to number 2 and couldn't get to number 1 because they were crunched or held back.
They were cock blocked by Roberta Flack.
And in some cases they're fun because it's really fascinating, because in some cases it was a case where the band or artist got to number 2, something else was in number 1. Something that number 1 dropped out, but they didn't move up. Something else jumped over them and went to number 1. It's just like my songwriting career. It wasn't meant to happen. It
was like when the Monkees finally did Headquarters, the album they played, wrote all the songs themselves. Right. It came out. It went directly to number 1 for a week.
Yeah.
And then Sgt. Pepper came out.
And timing.
And it stayed at number 2 behind Sgt. Pepper for like 30 weeks.
Always crazy. Has been, always will be.
Yes.
A little song, a little dance, a little Asia in your pants, that and more fun stuff from the Dave Files this week.
The Dave Files.
It has a beat that moves right along too. Listen.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Lucky roll!
I never meant to be so bad to you. One thing I said that I would never do. One thing led to another. We were young, and we would scream together songs unsung. It was the heat of the moment, telling me what my heart meant. The heat of the moment showed in your
If you took Survivor and the Eagles and put them in a Cuisinart and blended them all up, you'd have Asia.
I tell you what, that was one of the greatest super groups that ever was formed.
It was.
But on this day in 2017, John Wetton died.
Okay.
I mentioned that because he's one of my favorite singer-songwriters of my youth. Mm-hmm. And, he was with King Crimson, UK, Asia. And he had his voice was silky smooth. Yeah, I mean, just a smooth voice.
Yeah, because there wasn't a whole lot of studio hijinks that you could
Back
do
then,
in those days.
you know,
Softwares and
you
all
either sang or you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to like King Crimson Red, oh my God, that album is so good, and his voice, his vocals are just so sweet.
Reverb's about all they had to work with, isn't it?
Reverb, little echo, little delay.
Sure,
yeah, but I just that's the only reason. I just wanted to point that out, that he meant a lot to me. And that he, as I said, as far as he was the principal songwriter. When you're in a band with Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Steve Howe from Yes, Jeff Downs from the Buggles,
and Jerry Mathers as the
Video Killed the Radio Star, the Buggles. I mean, when you're the main guy in a group of musicians at that level, you're a badass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we it's been 2017, 6 years?
This year.
Yep, 6 years.
I did that in my head.
Yes,
Louisiana sixth grade math skills.
Didn't even have to pull out my calculator.
All right, speaking of dying, which sounds a little crass, I don't mean it that way. Another untimely passing, I guess, and Dave's, well, it's safe to say I don't want to speak for you again, but I'll just say one of Dave's childhood heroes.
You still sound fantastic for an old timer, huh? And hey, once again, greetings and salutations. Yours true to the Gator with the heater, the big boss with the big cock sauce. And as I glance at the big TikTok on the fantastic WIBG Tower Power Clock, you and I do know if you are listening to Mr. Hyatt, if you are listening to the Rocking Bird, that this would be the fading weeks of one of the most fantastic, more fantastic stations throughout the entire nation. So if you're game, take that musical ride with yours true to the Gator with the heater through the past, and you come on down to 1621 Chester Street at a place called Memories West, and we will properly entertain you. So if you'll prepare right now, here we go! With these fantastic velvets, if you're driving right now, remember, take some care, take some safety with you.
In the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s, there were two things you had to do to be a successful on-air personality. Number one was to have a pretty good working knowledge of the contemporary music scene, because there were no computers, and you had to kind of keep up with things. The other thing is you had to have a natural gift for rhyming shit.
Yes.
Come on down, we're going downtown to the clown. Okay, kids, and it's all about the SIDS, cats and kitties, and there we play all the way.
And there was nobody better than Jerry Blavitt.
Explain to me, because I was going to look it up, and then I thought, no, let's get, this is your hometown stuff here, so this is cool. I get the rhyme, Geeter with the heater. What is a Geeter?
I have no clue.
Because I thought when I first looked at it, his obit, and my eye saw gator, but then I saw heater, and even I am able to comprehend that gator doesn't rhyme with heater. So you don't know what Geeter?
I have no clue.
Geator.
I have no clue what a Geeter is. Okay. But we had we crossed paths with Jerry Blavitt a lot in Philadelphia. We used to play this place called Quincy's. It was a chain nightclub, and it was in the Adams Mark Hotel up in Philly, which they tore the Adams Mark down in like 2004 and put up a Target.
They pay paradise.
Yeah, isn't that the way things go now? Every time they tear
you
down
don't know
something
what you
amazing,
got till it's gone.
They put up a Target. So, but we used to play Tuesday, Wednesday. We'd have off Thursday night, but we left our equipment on the stage. And then we'd come back and play the Power 99 dance parties on Friday night with Joe Too Cool Calare.
There you go.
And then we'd play Saturday.
Corny Collins.
So, it was really cool because a couple times I would go back up to Philly and hang out, and just he had a Philadelphia following. He was a Philly legend, but he had a Philadelphia following that was amazing.
These guys were, and mostly guys.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
And he was like a Dick Clark type of.
Yeah. And again, it always sounds a little old fogish to say so, but kids can't know what they missed out on.
Right.
Having those kinds of celebrity. It wasn't even the celebrity factor. It was their, they called them on air, they called them DJs or disc jockeys.
Disc jockeys, yeah.
But then later they became on air personalities. But they had personality. That was the whole, in New Orleans for me, and this is the thing. You talk about a guy like Jerry Blavitt and the Geeter with the heater, and this is what was his prime? The 80s?
No. probably the late 60s, early 70s into the mid 80s.
So we're talking 50 years easy ago, and
right.
you can recall it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
I can sit here right here and tell you that in 1964 or 65, that I remember listening faithfully to Lou Kirby, C.C. Courtney, Dan Diamond. Who the hell are these people?
Right,
They were jocks on WNOE and WTIX. You remember that stuff because it really was, charming is a word that pops to mind. That doesn't quite cover it, but it was really it was fun.
Well, they also had a lot of influence.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course they did.
You know, like a band like Rush. It was a Michigan disc jockey that started playing their songs. You know, they were a Canadian band that nobody knew about.
Well, if you've seen the movie That Thing You Do, we've talked about
Yes.
it with Tom Hanks. He portrays wonderfully how in those days you made the disc jockey happy, and the disc jockey played your record. And if he played your record, then the phones lit up. Or
Wasn't that Harry Shearer?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, but that's exactly how it was. And these guys, the business was still run by Suits like it is now, but it was a different kind of Suits. And,
right.
And it was and these guys were hometown heroes.
Yeah, I mean, he was Philadelphia Royals. I mean, shit, everybody came out to his funeral up in Philly. Yeah, the Geeter with the heater. But he would just set his turntables up on the stage in front of our equipment and play, and the place would be packed.
Yeah,
and he'd play 50s, 60s, and 70s music. Not much 80s, but
somebody needs to do a really good comprehensive documentary on DJs.
Yes,
great DJs and the history of DJ-ness.
Because now, when you say DJ now, you think of you think of a whole different kind of DJ, you know.
Right.
And then they were literally star makers.
Yes.
I mean, the DJ or breakers, the DJ in Lubbock, Texas, who basically was the reason why Buddy Holly, they sent his tapes to New York.
That's right.
And
for those who are interested, that's probably the origin, not the quiz shows of the 50s, but payola. That's a word.
Yes. Yes.
It was a fond word. Well done, Jerry Blavitt.
We're just about at the halfway point.
We're only halfway through, and it's only going to get better.
I should certainly hope so.
The Audiophiles.
Okay, how about we spend another 5 or 10 minutes replaying those Oscar nominees and talking about let's not do that at all. Last week we did a tribute to David Crosby, who passed away at the age of 81, and Dave had stumbled on or come upon a song that I also had come upon in different times and different places, and just didn't have the opportunity to insert it into last week's show. And I remember saying toward the end of the show, well, maybe next week I'll put that thing in there. And well, son of a gun, I don't know what happened this week, but I actually remembered.
Oh, there you go.
And in the course, and I already had downloaded the song and put it into my extensive library, but I stumbled across, I'm doing a lot of stumbling this week, a Howard Stern interview that David did about 2 years ago via Zoom. And it was like synchronicity because they were talking, and Howard, and not to wander too far down this road or get off the subject or waste time, one of the reasons that I like Howard Stern is, and I get the whole, and I've seen Private Parts, I know his history, I listened to him years ago, the shock jock shit, he says anything, he was a crazy wacky guy. And in terms of like some kinds of savvy, he never really had them, but he genuinely loves radio, he genuinely loves music, he genuinely loves people who make music, and he likes people.
Right.
He's interested in people, and that's his interviewing skill. It's not homogenized and sharp and necessarily constructed. It's just, there's that. And he got these conversations going. Well, he was telling David Crosby how moved he was by this one particular song, and I'm watching the interview.
Right.
And he goes, well, let's listen to a little bit of it, and hits it, and I said, I'll be damned. That's the song that you were talking about.
Right.
And I was talking about. So what I did was I culled a little bit of a piece of this. Listen to what Howard and David had to say, and we'll talk about the song.
You always see yourself as a guy running out of time.
Well, I am at the end of my life, Howard, and it's a very strange thing. And here's what I've come to about it. It's not how much time you got, because we really don't know. I could have 2 weeks, I could have 10 years. It's what you do with the time that you do have. And so I'm trying to really spend it well. Whatever, each day that I get, I'm very grateful for, and I try to do it making music, because I think the world needs music.
Listen to this song a little bit. I'll play some of it. It just feels like the words of a man who's contemplating the end of life.
It makes me want to cry when I listen to it.
Me too.
I'm standing on the porch like it's the edge of a cliff. Beyond the grass and gravel lies a certain abyss. And I don't think I will try it today. I'm facing a squall like of 1,000-year storm. I don't know if I'm dying or about to be born, but I'd like to be with you today. Yes, I'd like to be with you today. And I won't stay for long. I've got a place of my own, a little slice. There's a sliver of air between the water and the ice. It's where I live, where I breathe. An abandoned song.
The reason it gets me too is because I don't want to lose you.
People get old and die. That's how it works. And I'm gonna. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have myself a bunch of fun. I guarantee it, because I have a PhD in fun, as you well know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make some more music because I love doing it. I know that I'm supposed to, quietly shuffle off into the distance, but I'm not gonna.
And I won't stay for long.
The entire song is available on our companion podcast, the Audiophiles, which is available wherever you download this particular episode, and that song is included with all the other. There are a few songs that will not be included this week, but it's a long story. But the stuff that really matters is there, including that song.
Right.
It's a brilliant piece of work.
Dude, that's such a great song. And he didn't write it. His son from another...
Jeff Raymond.
Yeah, Jeff Raymond wrote it. And
From an Affair.
And I mean, that is some masterful songwriting, lyrically especially.
And interesting too, Jeff is not he's not an old guy, but he's not, he's youngish, and that's that kind of. It's always impressive when you see somebody who can reflect on a life. You can understand somebody like David Crosby at the age of 80, as many health issues and challenges and all that, being inspired to write the farewell of an 80-year-old looking back. But that kind of insight from a younger person is that much more admirable. But he's got the DNA, for God's sake.
Well, great piece of work. I can't wait to see what Melissa Etheridge's son does when he grows up.
Oh, the one fathered with Crosby?
Yes.
He's dead.
Oh, he died?
He killed himself.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Within the last couple of years.
How old was he?
I don't know.
Couldn't have been
don't remember.
Out of his teens.
I think early 20s.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, so scratch that. Take that off my bucket list.
We'll never find that out. But anyway, that's and there's a whole poignancy going on, and I made the joke to yesterday in another conversation when I said we did a whole hour last week on David Crosby. And deservedly so, because he was such a force in popular music.
An icon.
Sure, you bet. And I mentioned this post that musician Mark O'Connor had done on Facebook talking about the fact that get ready, because baby boomers are going to start dying now.
Well, yeah.
They were born in the 1940s and in the early 1950s, and the most creative bunch of people in popular music, Paul McCartney's 80, will be 81 in about 3 months. Ringo's 82. Mm-hmm. There's several memes floating around with a list of all these, but those people who are the major music
who's never on those lists? Keith Richards.
Well, it's kind of a given that he's been around since Moses.
You know who else died a couple days ago? Willie Snead.
Willie Sneed,
Yeah.
Three Dog Night's drummer. Topham, we mentioned that obscure name as the guitar player for the Yardbirds in our little family tree a couple of weeks ago. He just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy Williams passed away, which has nothing to do with music, but she was 75. It's the same thing. It's those generations. And I said, we have to kind of figure out I'm thinking maybe what we should do with our crack production team is go back to a So Long Farewell of Wiedersehen segment in each week's show.
Well, you know how
otherwise we're going to end up doing hour-long tributes.
You know, I found out about Cindy Williams last night. May Pang posted a picture of her and said, "My dear friend Cindy passed away," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I
caught Candy Clark, who was in American Graffiti, played the crazy blonde, or the dippy blonde. She had posted on Twitter a single word, no, with like 17 O's and an exclamation point, and everybody's like, "What's the matter? What's going on?" And then the next thing you know, the point is, this is going to happen a lot.
Right.
In fact, we've got a couple more, and one in particular but it's okay. And this is where we go theological and philosophical on me, and I've said this for a long, long time. You know, it's one thing for a 20-year-old or even a 40-year-old to go off a cliff in a bus, or to suddenly get a brain tumor and drop dead. That's tragic at the same time that it's poignant. But when somebody's lived a long life, a successful life, accomplished and contributed to society and culture and all the rest of those things and passes, my emotion is not so much mourning or grief as it is envy. Appreciation and envy. Thanks for the work.
Right.
Thank you for what you did. I did a little piece on Cindy Williams this morning online where what I said was all the things that are pouring in and all the heartfelt stuff with all the people that she knew and all that. I said, maybe it's not so much that she was famous, was that everything I read, I saw nothing, no comment, not a single one that didn't say some form of, she was just a really nice person.
Yeah.
And
I saw a funny, well, not a funny post. It was kind of, it's something that we talked about in the David Crosby show. It was a picture of Mama Cass, and it said, "I'm sure she's introducing David to everybody in heaven right now," because that's kind of what she did on Earth.
That's right. Well, the waiting list is going to be considerable up there. All right, stick around.
Two guys who know tunes, talking tunes. The Audiophiles.
It's ready to go.
Hey, you got that right, sister. Speaking of Miley, it's time for this week's chance for Dave and I to praise it or bury it as we share our decades upon decades upon decades of musical experience and unparalleled wisdom for all you young, unparalleled wisdom for all you young people out there who at this moment are most likely reaching for the delete podcast button. Don't do it. Don't do it just yet, because it's time for Dave and I to get in touch with the way you feel about music. We're going to rate a record.
All right, listen up.
It's go time.
What is it?
What do you think, Dave?
Put aside logic, Scott.
Good. Very good.
Bad. Very bad.
Wow, groovy. Oh my gosh, does that suck?
Well, which is it?
Now's my chance to find out.
Two guys who know tunes, listening to tunes.
How did you rate the record?
I gave it an 85 because I liked the music and it was easy to dance to.
The Audiophiles.
That's right, baby. All right, due to technical difficulties, we're not going to be able to use the electronic, wonderful, marvelous stuff that we were going to use. We'll use it next week. In its place, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to play an excerpt of a song for you. It's brand new. Dave has, I assume, listened to it and has an idea what he thinks about it.
Yes.
We're going to share it with you. I will tell you this, and here's how we're going to rate him. And I'm throwing this at Dave because this is a new thing. We haven't done it yet. Here's our votes. This is our version of thumbs up, thumbs down, Siskel and Ebert. We're either going to give it a yay, a half-assed yay, or a what else you got?
Right.
All right. Now, I got all three of those ready to punch next week in the electronic library. This week we'll substitute. We'll do it this way. We'll say you gets a yay. It gets a half-ass yay.
That's a half-ass yay?
That's all I got. Or it's a what else you got? Okay. There you go. Now, I will tell you this. It was written with Gregory Allday Hine and Michael Pollack, credit where it's deserved, and co-written with the authoress performer. It is, for the second week in a row, number one in the United States, number one in the UK, and number one in about 18 countries all around the world. We're going to rate that record. It's Miley and her new record called Flowers.
We were good, we were gold, kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. built a home and watched it burn. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my own head. Yeah, I can love me better than you can. Can love me better, can love me better, baby. Can love me better,
Yay, half-assed yay, or...
Yay.
I forgot what yay was. What did I give it?
The clapping.
Oh. The audience should pay attention.
I'm a Miley fan.
This time or in general?
In general. That girl's got skills. She is a great singer.
She is.
And she's a very good songwriter, too.
She is. I agree.
You know,
I like it, too.
I also like, I mean, I saw her sing a Metallica song with Metallica. I mean,
and then she turns around and sits on the bar stool in the backyard with Dolly and her godmother Dolly and sings Jolene and just nails the shit out of it.
I mean, this girl is a super talent.
And I'm looking forward to her getting a little older and a little more mature and knocking off the childish Miley
If
shit.
she wasn't so quirky, I think she might be the biggest star.
Well, she just turned 30. She's just getting started.
Yeah.
Little Bruno Mars feel to that song.
Yes.
Little influence there. All right. Each and every week we will take a contemporarily released, or maybe sometimes it'll just be something different, unique, and we will rate it so that you know whether or not to spend your hard-earned money.
Was you a yay? Were you a yay?
Yeah, I said I like. Yeah, me too. I like the way it felt, and it's, you know, the primary.
I'll be honest with you. I liked her when she came out with "Party in the USA." Yeah, I was like, that is a clever, well-crafted song.
Can't be all of her singles. Mm-hmm. Wrecking Ball was
Wrecking Ball's the best.
Yeah, it's a great song,
especially the way we do it in Engine 9.
Yeah.
Do you remember the video with her swinging on the ball? Well, we got a video of Ron Jeremy swinging on a. That's what we use when we play songs.
Okay, there's not enough therapy in the world to get me past that visual. Thank you very much. All right, we got a little poignant 6 Degree this week.
6 Degrees of SEP.
Barrett Strong passed away, and yet another from that generation. He was 81 years old, and the little baby 6 Degree anecdote is coming up momentarily. But here's what I'm going to tell you to do. If you're not familiar with him by name, do the Google, do the wiki, spend as much time as you need to learn what this guy accomplished in his long and illustrious songwriting career. Second, here's 2 minutes, give or take, little montage. Love the montages. So that you can have a little, and you're going to go, there's some Oh Yeah songs in here. And I used to call them Oh Yeah on my morning show. You're not sure of the name, you're not sure of the music, but when I play the song for you, you go, oh yeah! The incredible songwriting resume of Barrett Strong.
Smiling faces sometimes pretend to be your friend. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to my nation. That's what the world is today. Who was a lonely soul? Where my three ladies hat was his home. The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need fun. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Although one wonders if War and Peace would have been as highly acclaimed as it was had it been published under its original title, War, What Is It Good For? Yeah, Mr. Lippman. It was his mistress who insisted that he call it War and Peace. War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
War! Good God, y'all! What is it good for? Absolutely. Say it again.
Say it again. And that's just a smattering of the great songs that Barrett Strong was involved in.
I tell you what, if you think about it, he might have been the father of the protest song. Well, now actually, Pete Seeger is the father of the protest song.
Yeah, from a folk point of view. From a pop point of view, I would offer 1965, Barry McGuire, Eve of Destruction.
Yeah.
And actually, there were some hidden protest songs back in the day. One of the very first ones, well, that would be 65, again, 66, was Galveston.
Oh, yeah.
The Jimmy Webb song, which was kind of protesting the Vietnam War.
Last Train to Clarksville was a protest song.
It was. You know what? We should do a salute to protest songs. That would be a fun thematic.
Yeah. I love Ball of Confusion.
Yes.
Love it. Duran Duran did a really cool cover. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Duran Duran put out an album called Thank You, which was basically an ode to all of their influences. And they did covers of Sly and the Family Stone songs, Ball of Confusion, Grandmaster Flash. I mean, all these Beautiful Day, it's just, it was all these songs that were big in the late 60s.
And here's this week's mini sermon. This is the thing we talk about each and every week when we're talking about from our perspective generationally. You could identify group sounds and band sounds and artist sounds by they were distinctive and unique. And yes, some of their own work was similar to other work they did because that was their style. But you never heard the words cookie cutter.
No.
In those days.
No.
Even amongst, and just that little montage should tell you, that was one guy. And that, by the way, that version of Money, that was Barrett Strong himself. That was his version of a recorded song.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my little anecdote to go along with it. Back in the 1980s, actually it would have been the 70s because I left Nashville in, it would have been 80s. I left Nashville in 95. Somewhere along the timeline, I think it was probably early to mid 80s, there was a songwriter symposium in one of the smaller theater auditoriums in downtown Nashville. It was kind of an invitation only thing. And it was an auditorium style. We were sitting in the audience and there was a stage, but it was completely bare with just lighting. On the stage was a stool with a microphone and a grand piano slightly off to one side. Christopher Cross was there. He came out. He sat on his stool, sang 3 or 4 songs acoustically, talked to the audience. It was one of those kind of things. Mm-hmm. It went on.
Like a songwriter in the round type of thing?
Yeah, except he was facing the audience. And I don't remember who else was there. Barrett Strong was a featured guest and kind of the headliner because even then, in his 60s at the time, he was the writer of all these great songs. And this is reverence we're paying this guy. So he's introduced. The applause, as you can imagine, was the crowd was more, again, invitation only, so probably only 300 or 400 people, but still.
Right.
And music people who knew their shit. The applause was almost deafening, but he comes out, he takes a polite bow, he sits at the piano bench, and he's still sitting at the piano bench, and he just kind of turns and he's looking at the audience, and he's smiling, and he's not saying anything. And it wasn't a smug smile. It was a warm, I'm happy to be here without anything, but almost a little glint in his eye. And he put his left hand on the bass notes of the piano keyboard. And without looking away from the audience, he played 4 notes.
Heard it through the grapevine.
The place went batshit crazy, okay? And that right there is testament.
Did Marvin Gaye co-write that with him? I know Marvin Gaye's was the first version, right?
I honestly don't remember.
Did he write that by himself?
Again, I don't remember. It's worth a Google. Look it up on the Google while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do is do that. And that's a testament right there. If you don't know that one, you don't know nothing. Check out the Barrett Strong, like I said. Where are we? There it is.
You're listening to the Audiophiles.
I bet you wondered how I knew I chose plans to make you blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us, guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I'm afraid, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know that I heard through the grapevine? Not much
Now, when they use the word classic, son, that's what they're talking
Googled
about.
it.
Yeah.
Norman Whitfield is who he wrote.
He worked with Whitfield a lot in the stuff that they cranked out.
Gladys Knight and the Pips was the first version. I didn't realize that.
But they were pretty close together in
67, 68, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And CCR did a version.
Yes.
And there's, I'm sure, a number of covers. Those were the three biggest hits. But Marvin's is considered, I don't know, it's
Marvin's is kind of like the definitive one.
It's a Gladys Marvin, tie goes to the runner.
I mean, do you?
No, for me, it's Marvin.
Marvin, yeah. I think of Marvin when
but Marvin was, Gladys was still, Gladys's heyday was the early 70s and on into You're the Best.
Train to Georgia.
Midnight which was originally written as Pop Quiz. Midnight Train to Georgia.
Looky here, don't go. Now, what happened?
The songwriter was a kind of a country folk pop guy named Jim Weatherly, who also wrote You're the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. He originally, and I'll crank that out for next week.
What was the title?
He wrote it and demoed it. It was called Midnight Plane to Houston.
Ah.
And it had a little tiny tinge of a country flavor. And then when they pitched it to Gladys, she said, yeah, but I'm not digging Houston or the plane because it just doesn't work. Somebody said Train to Georgia. And the rest is history.
Yes. Huge song.
All right. We got, oh my look, gosh, no surprise. It's time to play Guess Who.
Guess who?
Who are you? Who? What the hell's that?
Who are those guys?
Who is this?
Well, that's for us to know and Dave to find out, or reverse, depending on how it goes. Edgar Fernandez, Mike Fletcher, Billy Neal, and our own favorite son in Delaware, rock and roll inductee Dave Simmons, along with fellow Hall of Fame inductee Saul Knopf, make up the Saul Knopf Band. And they do a thing we've talked about called Ultimate Diamond, and it is exactly what it sounds like, an amazing show and tribute to Ultimate Diamond, the great rap star of the night. Oh, wait. It's Neil. Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's Neil Diamond. And it's one of those things, and those who know and love me, or at least know me, doesn't matter, know well enough to know that when I say, hey, this is cool, that it is, and when I say it's not, I'm not blowing smoke, and I don't do that. I like the show a lot, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Saul Knopf has a very distinctive Neil Diamond-esque sound to his voice. The arrangements are impeccable. The musicianship is, well, Dave's in the band, so what the fuck? It's going to be great. But it's not, those things so easily become parody and caricature and imitation, and I'm thinking Elvis impersonators that have traumatized us all for years.
Well, there's a couple Neil impersonators with a comb over out there that yeah.
Sure. That's not this. Okay. Now, I bring all that up by way of saying, here's the song that I found. And I went, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's throw this one at Dave. You're going to recognize the song. It's a Neil Diamond song.
Right.
As far as the rest of it goes, no hint, no nothing.
Wait a minute. Is it a man?
That's for you to know and everybody else to find out. Rimshot, please. Thank you very much. That's chapter 3. We're going to go with that each and every week. That's our new catchphrase. It's time for Dave to guess who.
Didn't lose my mind till the time that I found her holding Jim, loving him. Don't know that I will, but until I can find it, a girl who will stay and won't play games behind me. I'll be what I am, solitary man, solitary man.
He's got a draw in his voice. When was that released?
I don't know.
Okay. It's probably wrong. He's got a Keith Urbanish draw in his voice.
It's fascinating to me when we do this each week because as I said, I put them together and do the thing and then throw it at you, and you have no idea what's coming.
Right.
And I'm
wrong every week.
Well, it's because, and that's, we're just having fun, and you know that, but it's because it's really hard to, and my challenge is always finding something that's I don't want to say, not knowable, that's not the word, familiar enough to not be so weird out that there's no way you could get it. But at the same time, if I do if I do a George Harrison take of something, you're going to hear George Harrison and know instant, or Mickey or any of the Monkees. This is one of those, when I was putting it together, I thought, no, because that voice is so distinctive. But again, I've got his name in front of me.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, this, and again, it's right. I feel like I succeeded because I was right on that line And when you got more than 10 seconds in and you still had that adorable blank stare on your face and you weren't going, oh, yeah, of course, then I knew that we were going to be home free. So you want to, it's not Keith Urban. You want to take another shot?
No. Who was it?
All right. He had a lot of hits in the mid-'60s, kind of some ballady stuff, some mid-tempo stuff. But I think when the obit happens, and God willing, not soon, but he's up there like the rest of us, or rest of them, you're probably going to hear first and foremost that he's passed away and he's best known for
Secret Agent Man, Secret Agent Man, they've given you a number and taken away your name. Secret Agent Man.
Johnny Ramostella from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, better known as Johnny Rivers.
Yeah,
By the way, before we go, I purposely jacked it up and I can't replay it, otherwise I'll throw the whole thing into a mechanical nightmare.
Did you hear he has a Keith Urban-ish? I never noticed that till to this day.
I had not thought of it, but maybe because I knew it was Johnny Rivers and I knew it was, so I hear Johnny Rivers.
Right.
The thing I have enjoyed for years and years now and decades most about that song, it was obviously recorded live.
Mm-hmm.
It never was recorded in a studio version. That was the version that was released as a single, became an iconic single hit back in the 60s. But I purposely jacked the volume up, and if you're listening to the podcast, go back and listen to this part of it again one more time and you'll hear it. It's fun because the audience, when he hits the dun at the end of the thing, and the audience is applauding, there's a guy in the audience, and I assume from the sound of it, he was about 3/4 of the way back, and you hear him go, "Play Batman, Johnny!" And he was having a little fun, but it was good.
Yeah, that's Johnny Rivers had a lot of hits.
He did.
Yeah.
Look to your soul. What am I thinking? Poor Side of Town, Summer Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Very innovative for its time. Yeah. All right. Well, I got good news and bad news. It's in the finale this week.
Two guys who know tunes. Talking Tunes, the Audiophiles.
And now, the grand finale.
So that's it? Gone? Boo-hoo?
Well, all good things and all the rest of that. All right, you want to wrap up with some plugs and sponsorships and genuflection and shit?
Most definitely.
Announce where Ultimate Diamond is going to be. We love that. We love his rap work.
Yes, Ultimate Diamond will be at the Milton Theater, Milton, Delaware on February 26th. That's a Sunday show. It's actually, I think it's already sold out. And there are tickets available for the March 31st show at the
special
Everett,
opening guest Mike Tyson
at the wonderful Everett Theater in Middletown, Delaware, and that's the theater where the Dead Poets Society was filmed. The Shakespeare scenes.
So it's the place is reeking of atmosphere.
It's a really cool. We played there about a year ago. It's really cool theater. And as usual, my sponsors HHG Drums, Trinity Cymbals, and Earl T Music. If you're looking for musical instruments, it's awesome. And just remember this, that Willie Sneed never shopped at Earl T Music, and now he's dead. So you think
gonna
be my new plug
you think that's funny, but it's going to turn into a catchphrase, and it may come back to bite you because that's how people will associate with the business.
But no, that's Dean and Dale are great to work with if you need anything.
I had this conversation, a similar conversation with our mutual friend Norm Short yesterday about a different something. He had sent me this thing, the town of Milton, Delaware, where the Milton Theater is looking for a new town slogan.
Oh, yeah. You had mentioned that.
And so he sent me the information on how to get involved, and it was open to the public, quote unquote, but he knew that I did that kind of work, and I'd written jingles and things through the years and various stuff. And I thought, okay, sure, I make a few bucks here and win the contest to get a savings bond or something. And I went to the website and I looked it up, and it's all very nice, and I wish them well. But basically, the reward for being the one chosen is that you feel like, hooray, I was the one chosen.
Yes.
And I'm like, I got better ways to waste my time than that. And I got NCIS reruns to watch.
There you go.
So I said, but because Norm was nice enough to send me the article, I shot back and I said, look, I just did something off the top of my head. I said, use this, and you submit it, and if you get recognized, then you don't even have to give me credit. And so he said, what is it? And I said, welcome to Milton, Delaware. At least we're not Wilmington.
Well, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, no, you can't. I said, no, you see, now you're missing the point here, and not to go too far off the road here, but I did this a lot during my radio years. The purpose of advertising is to get people aware of your business or your product. It's not necessarily, I can't tell you the number of discussions or arguments that I had with clients, commercial clients, who would come in and say, "Hi, I'm Arnie Foucault of Arnie's Discount Autos, and I want to do this thing, and I've written the slogan myself." And I said, "Great, what is it?" "We're the best darn auto dealer in town." And I said, "Nobody cares."
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean? Nobody cares. And I used the term white noise. I said, there's so much out there now: television, streaming, radio.
And plus, everybody's the best.
Yeah, but that's white noise. With those kinds of things, all the consumer hears is. You got to do something to get yourself up above. That's why the examples I used in the conversation with Norm, I said Flow and Progressive Insurance. I don't know about you, but for me, all those commercials are moderately borderline obnoxious, and for the love of God, but I know it's Flow and Progressive Insurance.
Yes.
So that's the name
that's
of it.
That's one of the best advertising campaigns I think I've seen since
since
Where's the Beef? You know what I mean?
Where's the Beef?
But yeah, that's or Welcome to Milton. Ultimate Diamond is here on February 26th.
Yeah, I don't think that'll fit on the wood plaque in the middle of the median. All right, so now I said there was bad news. Here it is. Not so much. We're going to run back to the Oscars to wrap this up and go out on a musical note, but I thought we'd have some fun with this. And one more time to test Dave's acumen and knowledge.
Dave has no acumen or
Sure
knowledge.
You do. Sure you do, because we're talking about there was a time when Oscar song nominations were actually fun and interesting, but here's the quick quiz, and you probably know this. I'm going to read you the name of, I think it's 5, 6 songs. They're all James Bond theme songs.
Okay.
All but 2 of them were, in their time, nominated for Oscars. Your task, should you choose to accept it, is to tell me which 2 of them were not.
Okay.
And let me read the whole list first. Okay. The Look of Love, 1967. That was for the Casino Royale that starred Peter Sellers and various other people. It was kind of a parody. Live and Let Die in 1973. That was McCartney. Goldfinger in 1964. Shirley Bassey. Nobody Does It Better. That was 77. Carly Simon. I think that was in The Spy Who Shagged Me. The For Your Eyes Only. That was Sheena Easton in 1981. That was also for The Spy Who Shagged Me. No, it wasn't called The Spy Who Shagged Me, but it was Roger Moore, so it doesn't exist in my brain. And Thunderball in 1965, the Tom Jones record. Now, of those, which 2 were not nominated for Oscars?
Thunderball.
You are correct.
And The Spy Who Loved Me.
Well, I named 2 of those. Nobody Does It Better or For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, I'm sorry. For Your Eyes Only.
No. I was going to give you, well, you get the applause for the first one.
Okay.
You got 1 out of 2, so you're batting 500 on that. Goldfinger was not nominated.
Oh, Goldfinger.
Goldfinger was not nominated. Now, here's the funny part. Proving that there have been lame-o, what are you fucking kidding me, winners. Let's real quick go back to the beginning of that list. Look of Love, 67, nominated, didn't win.
Right.
The Oscar, Talk to the Animals from Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, Lord.
Live and Let Die. This is a thing in Dave's craw. 73, McCartney. No Oscar. The Oscar went to Memories Like the Corners of My Mind. Goldfinger didn't get one. 77, Nobody Does It Better. Carly Simon, nominated, didn't get the Oscar.
Great song, not a good Bond theme.
Still in all, in comparison, the Oscar went to You Light Up My Life.
Now, in their defense, that song was obnoxiously pushed by every outlet in every form of entertainment.
It was one of those songs that captured the hearts of millions of Americans.
And it made Debbie Boone a household name.
My favorite moment,
I
remember watching that televised Oscar ceremony in that year, and Joe, and I can't think of his last name. Joe.
Pesci?
No, it was Joe.
What am I, funny? How am I funny?
The comedy stylings. The guy that wrote the song, his name was, let's say it was Joe North. I don't remember what his name was. When he accepted the Oscar, he walked down to the stage, went up the steps, got on the stage, got on the podium, took the Oscar in his hand. He was very happy. He hugged, and he turned around and he said, "Thank you so much to the Academy. And I just want to say, on behalf of everybody in my family and all the people who supported me and helped me with this, that it's just the achievement of a lifetime for me an extra special thing because at one point or another, that song was rejected by every single person sitting in this auditorium right now.
Wow.
And everybody cheered and went, and said, that's how it works. Okay. Then For Your Eyes Only, 81, nominated. No. Arthur's Theme, the Christopher Cross, When You Get Caught Between the
Well,
Moon and
that's
New York City,
iconic.
which I'll let that go.
You got to let that one slide.
But Live and Let Die, no, and Memories. No. All right, and here's the reason I brought the whole thing up. In 1972, The Poseidon Adventure, and the Oscar winning song of that year was a song written by two guys named Joel Hirschhorn and Al Kasha, not to be confused with the breakfast cereal that Frank Costanza tried to offer George in the bed set. And, of course, we remember it was The Morning After. All right, well, it fit the movie.
There's got to be
It fit the movie. Maureen McGovern did a nice job with a really cheesy song, and there you go. Fast forward. Well, this isn't the fast forward sound. We'll rear back and fast forward 2 years to 1974. The Towering Inferno, which was the new disaster movie made by the same guy who made The Poseidon Adventure. This was about a burning building as opposed to a flipped-over ocean liner. Once again, Hirschhorn and Kasha, on the job, wrote the theme song. It was called We May Never Love This Way Again. It was nominated for and won the Oscar. So you see, it started out with Maureen McGovern in 72 singing The Morning After.
If we can hold on through the night.
A little melodramatic and, a little cheesy, a little bit, just a little bit. But it was about survival, and that's what the movie's about.
Keep on looking for the love.
2 years later, it morphed into this.
We may never love like this again. Don't stop the flow. We can't let go. We may never love like this again and touch the sky, though we may try. So while we're here, let's give our all. Release the dreams inside us and set them free.
God, please! You have to stop!
I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thing sucks!
Okay, that's enough for this week.
Can't stop the flow, we can't let go, and touch the sky, though we may try. I would be embarrassed to be awarded an Academy Award for writing that level. Second graders with their little tablets and crayons.
That is The Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue level.
Romance Dance, Friend Ben.
Let me ask you this. What Bond theme did win the Oscar? What did
there were three.
Billie Eilish?
Actually, three. Two pretty cool and one like, are you fucking kidding me once again? And the most recent, Skyfall. That Adele did. No Time to Die that Billy and Phineas wrote for the last Bond film, but right there, stuck in between that thing from Sam Smith, Writings on the Wall.
God, I can't stand Sam Smith.
There you go. But we've reached that area now. Well, you've heard the nominees for this year.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, the reason that I brought all of this up, besides the entertaining fun that we had with it, was to go out on a note of Dave's a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. We've had our accomplishments. I never was Oscar nominated. I was Grammy nominated, but that's an entirely different show. And I've gone 3 shows without mentioning it, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I want to go out in 1974 when I'm sorry, it's god awful. It's amateur. They knocked that thing out in like 10 seconds. You can tell.
Yeah, probably.
Because these were professional songwriters.
Probably, yeah.
Kasha actually wrote a book in the 70s called If They Ask You, You Can Write a Song. Parentheses, and win an Oscar because people are like, they'll buy anything. In that same year, there was a song in the Best Song nominee list that did not win that Oscar. And I think that's where the expression "we was robbed" came from.
We was robbed
came from because the composer, a very talented and gifted creative guy, went home empty-handed. The song light years ahead of that Hirschhorn and Kasha crap that we just listened to, and we're going to leave you this episode with that masterpiece, and it serves another purpose. It's our way of saying to all you young songwriters and aspiring songwriters out there that if you work hard, if you pay your dues, if you keep your eyes on the prize, always remember there's a reason they call them dreams. Because most of the time, people are going to say, you're fucking dreaming, man. Yeah. You're not going to win. Because Hirshhorn and Kasha are going to ride crap, and they're going to be able to win Oscars with it.
You got to be asleep to believe it.
That's what we're talking about. I'm Scott Edward Phelps.
I'm Dave Simmons.
And this is the song that should have won the Oscar in 1974. We'll see you next time on the Audiophiles.
He rode a blazing saddle. He wore a shining star. His job to offer battle to bad men near and far.
The Audiophiles is produced in the United States of America. Questions, comments, and witty banter welcome. Audiophiles broadcast at gmail.com.
Outlaws rule the West.
Take this down. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits, con men, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, hornswagglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, ass kickers, shit kickers, and...
Scott Edward Phelps, Dave Simmons. The Audiophiles.
I love it when you talk dirty.